Hi everyone, my name is Terry Lynn. Welcome to Frugal Lifestyle. I just made a chili this morning that I want to share with you, and I didn't plan on using all these garden ingredients, but once I got started, I couldn't stop. So it is very healthy. I'm using ground turkey instead of ground beef. So I just made it and I recorded it, and I'm going to show you. And I'm going to encourage you to get out to your garden and use these ingredients in your chili and make it extra healthy. And of course, store-bought tomatoes and vegetables will do just fine in this chili. Now we're going to start with, these are garden tomatoes that were placed in the freezer just about a week ago. And I'm going to run warm water over them and remove the peelings. So see, they're coming right off, the peelings are, with warm water. So now we have our peeled tomatoes to work with for the chili. These tomato peelings can go out to the garden for compost. Now I've got some shallots, garlic, and red pepper I'm going to cut up. These vegetables are from the garden. Now I'm dicing up the vegetables very finely. We're going to be using these vegetables with the meat to flavor the sauce, which we are creating from scratch using garden tomatoes. In a large pan, I'm going to start with a little olive oil and heat it up. And add the vegetables. I have a package of ground turkey, 93% lean. That's what we're going to use for this chili. And we're cooking the meat along with the vegetables now. While it's cooking, I'm just going to add salt and pepper, just to season the meat. Now I'm just chopping up my tomatoes into smaller pieces before adding to the meat and vegetable mix. Then you just transfer the tomatoes over to the pan and start the cooking process to create the sauce. The liquid from the tomatoes will start releasing. And I'll be smashing these tomatoes into smaller pieces also. The tomatoes are beginning to cook, and I add the seasoning, salt, pepper, basil, and oregano. This chili has been cooking for about 10 to 12 minutes. I'm going to add the chili powder. I read to add it to bloom the flavor, whatever that means, to add the chili powder early. But we'll be adding more later, I'm sure, so I'm not going to add too much. I like to add it in stages until we get the right flavor. And I don't like to overdo it because we can always add chili powder at the end to our own individual bowl. Like I add my cumin. And I would like to add cumin to this, but my husband will throw a fit. So just doesn't care for cumin. I don't know why. The chili beans I use come from Walmart, and they're really good. I believe it will be enough. If I think I need to add another can or half a can, I will. But I'm pretty sure 1 can will be enough. And you add this towards the end because these are already pre-cooked. So keeping the lid off, because I was going to put the lid on, is the best thing to do if you want a thicker chili. And we want the tomatoes to thicken, to become a thicker sauce. We don't. And if you leave the lid off, somehow this will help it to become a thicker sauce, which is what we're looking for. You're creating your own tomato sauce as you're cooking this chili, so this is really awesome. So we've got about 20 more minutes to simmer the sauce before adding the beans. I'm going to add just a little bit of garlic powder. And you can smash your garlic in the beginning to infuse the flavor if you like. And I did add more chili powder too, and a little salt and pepper. I just like to add the seasonings in stages. Now I'm adding the chili beans. This is the last 10 minutes of cooking. This sauce is a lot thicker now. You can still see some tomato chunks though, and we want that. I don't want to lose all the integrity of the tomatoes into a sauce, but that would be good. It would still taste good like you do with tomatoes, like you do with spaghetti sauce. It would still taste very good. I like the chunks though. I really like the chunks. Oh wow, this is looking good. We're going to be adding fresh parsley next. Went out to the garden and picked fresh parsley, removed the stems, and chopped it up very finely. Now we're just adding the fresh parsley. I tasted it, and this is its finished stage. It is excellent. The turkey is so tender. Just added a little more chili powder, and this is done. It is really good. I think my husband's going to adore this. I think he's going to really enjoy it. For the garnish on this bowl of chili, I used fresh garden ingredients. A fresh sprig of parsley, chopped tomatoes, and chopped red onion. Now we're out in the garden. I'm going to show you where it all came from, the fresh vegetables that we used in the chili today. And like I said, you can go to the grocery store and pick out fresh produce for this chili. But even from the grocery store, it is grown in a garden somewhere or on a farm. And just the fact that you're using those fresh ingredients makes a world of difference. This summer we were blessed with an amazing harvest. Now we are towards the end of our harvest season, and the tomato plants are dying out. But we still have tomatoes growing, and we have green peppers that have turned red, and they are full of vitamins and very healthy. Parsley is still in full bloom and will remain so until the first or second frost in the fall. I just showed you a few of the produce that's left in my garden after a very, very large harvest. We've already harvested our onions and our garlic. I'm going to be planting more garlic real soon here as it gets closer to the fall. I hope this was an inspiration for you to use fresh garden ingredients. The garden ingredients can come from the store also because they originated from a farm or a garden anyway. It's not that difficult, and you can freeze those tomatoes, and it works out wonderful. I couldn't believe how well that worked out. Please come back again. Please like, subscribe, and share. God bless each and every one of you. I'll see you on the next one.